Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast, episode number 2. This episode is called, Hey, I Think Your Wife Left with a Hamburger Clown. This is Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. I don't reckon I know what a podcast is, but whatever it is, this here is one. And now, two fellers that make a cow go oink and a pig go moo, Bill Watt and Barry Patilla. Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. Hello, my name is Barry Patilla.
I am Bill Watt, and welcome to our low budget, actually it's a no budget broadcast, a podcast, but as low budget sounds better.
It does. It has a nicer ring to it. You know, we've worked with less, so no budget, low budget shouldn't be a problem for us. It's going to be a mediocre podcast either way.
That's right. Even if you were to give us a big budget, it'd still be mediocre.
Yeah, this is about as good as it's going to get. So hopefully you will enjoy the program because it's not going to get any better. Now, what is better this week, of course, our first podcast a couple of weeks back, what is better is your audio. You got a nice, pretty shiny new microphone, and boy, you sound great, Bill.
Well, thank you. Thank you. I got it at I actually found a microphone at Dollar General.
Did you really?
Yes. Yes, I did.
Well, I'm sure it's a very high-quality microphone. It does. It sounds much better, and because last week it was like you've always just phoned it in, but last week it actually sounded like you were on the phone.
Yeah, well, phoning it in is the story of my life, Barry.
That's we can't expect.
Why should this podcast be any different?
Yeah, not making any money on it. I mean, why go to any trouble, right?
That's absolutely right.
All right. How have you been?
I've been okay.
And the wife? The wife's good?
The wife's good. Yes, the wife is good. It's that time of year toward the end of the semester, and things get kind of hectic, and you see students you haven't seen in a while. Actually,
really?
you never saw them. Actually, you didn't see them for the first couple of months, but now you see them. Yeah,
well, they got to show up to get their report card at least. I mean, it doesn't really matter if you attend class or not, especially your classes, as you are an instructor there at the junior college in Jasper, Bevel State. And, I would be so disappointed if I was paying money maybe to send my kids to college, or if I was a college student, and I found out that Bill Watt was my instructor, I'd be like, can I get a refund on this?
Well, I'm sure that that probably has probably has come up in many a home around this area, but no one, I'm not aware of the fact. No one's ever said that to me, but I'm sure that might be the case.
Now, you were a high school teacher.
I wouldn't blame them.
Well, yeah, but you were a high school teacher for a couple of weeks too, weren't you?
Actually, 3 days.
3 days. Well, that was 2 weeks was a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did it for 3 days and realized, you know what? I don't think I want to do this.
The abuse, a little too much abuse, maybe?
Well, actually, I ran into a kid about, this is a couple of years ago. He was working at Walmart, and he said, "Hey, you don't remember me, do you?" And I said, "I remember your face." And he said, "Well," I was in that class you taught there for a little bit at our school, and you basically told my dad that none of these kids want to learn a damn thing."
Well, they don't like it when you're honest. They want to hear nice, positive things. How did Dad react to that, by the way? Do you remember that conversation?
Do I remember that conversation?
With the dad, yeah.
No, I don't remember that conversation, but he thought it was funny.
Actually,
and I asked him, I said, "Well, was I right?" And he said, "Well, yeah, you probably were." So.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I see it every day in the workplace. People want a paycheck, but they don't want to work. And it's the same kind of thing, people don't want to take the time to learn, and we're not talking about all kids, but there's always going to be kids that just don't want to do anything. But the vast majority of kids are good kids and want to learn, but you always got a few.
You know what we sound like, Barry? We sound like two old farts.
We sound like the two guys on the Muppet Show that sat up in the balcony. What were their names?
I don't remember.
They always criticized everything, made jokes. Oh, that's not funny. That's us. I think that's us.
Yeah, back in my day.
Yes, yeah.
And to be honest, I can't say that I was a heck of a whole lot different when I was growing up, but, we didn't have as many distractions as people do now.
Well, right, because there was no television, no radio, no fancy aeroplanes.
No, I wouldn't go that far. No
wheel, no fire. Yeah, I'm sure it was a lot tougher growing up. I mean, there was no TV, so there can't be video games. I mean, there was, you'd get, every once in a while, you'd go to the store and you get a rock with some writing on it. It would be like today's version of a book.
A rock with some writing on it?
Well, it wasn't actually writing.
Hey,
it was drawings.
hey,
It was drawings on a cave wall.
Getting a prize in a Cracker Jack box, that was a big deal.
Well, now that it's cheap. It's all paper, like the fake tattoos and stuff. But back in the day, you got like plastic, like a magnifying glass or something really cool like that.
Oh, yeah.
But
yeah.
the small boxes, and the bigger boxes and bags, you still get something kind of cool. But the regular boxes is something that's, is usually like a cheap little paper or something.
And another thing, may I complain about something else since we're complaining at the moment?
Well, you're good at complaining, so go ahead.
Chinese fortune cookies, what you get at Chinese restaurants now, it's not the same.
They're not fortunate.
You don't get a fortune anymore.
No, you get lottery numbers or something kind of crazy like that.
Yeah, there's lottery numbers, and actually, if you look at some of them, they're produced in Georgia or somewhere.
Yeah, but the fortune cookies do not contain actual fortunes, and I've thought about that for years. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, they're real lame now too. They just say stuff like, you have a nice personality or you got a great smile. It's like that's not a fortune.
And as far as you go, it's not true.
Well, that's true. I mean, I acknowledge that, but I mean, they don't tell you anything that.
No.
It's like they're not telling you anything about the future.
No.
I mean, it's just it's a rip.
And speaking of the future, you're a big fan of the California psychics that they advertise on TV, right? You call those quite often. I guess the wife, and did she get upset about the phone bill a while back? It was like several $100. Well, I need to know what's going to happen, honey.
Trying to predict this economy,
exactly.
And just I'm trying to get an idea of what's going on with the stock market.
Right.
So. But I don't, have you ever consulted a psychic?
I have never consulted a psychic. The FBI
Really?
And various law enforcement agencies use psychics.
Okay.
Yeah, they do.
I've never personally consulted a psychic, but...
I think
hang on
that there's this lady on TV, and I can't think of her name, but I've watched that a time or two, and I'm like, she's speaking with people who are grieving and missing lost relatives, and it just seems like it's taking advantage of them. To me, it's kind of sickening. I'm sorry.
Well, you bring up that, but I mean, it's like everything now is a reality show, pretty much.
Yes.
Everything. I mean, every night of the week, there's about 4 or 5 different reality shows, and it's because they're cheap to produce.
Exactly, they're very cheap. But they you put a camera in somebody's face, and they're not going to act the same as they would if there were no cameras. And a lot of the stuff is scripted.
Yeah,
it's not real.
If it's not scripted, they set up scenarios where they force certain things to happen.
Exactly. Because it would be boring otherwise if they don't come up with some scenarios to keep the viewer interested and entertained.
Yeah. Do you like to watch action movies, Barry?
I like action movies. I love action movies.
I mean, we're typical men, right? We like manly movies, action movies.
I am a man of action. I'm not sure why you're laughing, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I meant man of inaction. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I've got some thoughts here about some manly things that you always see in manly movies.
Okay.
Things that we've come to expect in manly movies.
Okay.
And these are true. These are tried and true things that you see in practically every action film.
Okay.
Whether it's a Chuck Norris film or it's that. Fast and Furious 84 or whatever, how many Fast and Furious films there are.
There's a bunch of them, yes.
So let me just see what you think about these. There's a few I have here. It's easy for anyone to land a plane, provided that there's someone in the control tower to talk you down.
Yes, and usually, especially the movies like that from the 1970s, there's a sexy stewardess sitting in the co-pilot seat.
Absolutely, yeah. The ventilation of any building is the perfect hiding place. No one will ever think of looking for you in there, and you can travel to any other part of the building you want without any difficulty.
And if they know you're up there and they start shooting their guns at the vents up in the ceiling, they always miss.
Mm-hmm. You think in that enclosed space that they could hit you, but it doesn't happen.
No. Never.
Unless, of course, it's a character that is going to die. We always can pick out the character. Well, that guy's not going to live. That she's fixing to die.
Sort of like on the old Star Trek series. If there's a crew member that you've never seen before, they're going to be dead by the end of the episode.
That's right. That's true. Now, war movies are also a part of this as well. you're likely to survive any battle in any war unless you make the mistake of showing someone a picture of your sweetheart back home.
Yes, exactly.
Because if you do that, you're going to die.
Right. And somewhere in the movie, as you're dying, you're going to tell your pal, take care of Susie. Take care of Susie.
Yeah.
I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs. Bobby, please take care of my girl.
Oh, that was well done. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
And, of course, should you wish to pass yourself off as a German officer, all you have to do is use a German accent.
And it will be so convincing. It'll be very convincing, and you can just go on your way.
It reminds me of, remember the movie, the Robin Hood movie with Kevin Costner?
I'm afraid so, yes.
Well, in that movie, he's the only one who doesn't use a British accent.
Maybe he tried, and it was so bad they gave up and said, just.
Well, there's actually one
voice.
small scene where he's using a disguise, and he actually uses a British accent, and it sounds okay.
That's
I don't know
weird.
what the crap's going on.
Yeah, that's very weird.
If you're staying in a haunted house now, and slasher films are also guilty of this. If you're staying in a haunted house, women should investigate any strange noises while wearing the most revealing underwear.
That seems to be something that happens in every scary movie with a haunted house, yes.
Yes.
Maybe they just sleep that way. Maybe there's some reason they're scantily clad.
There's a reason.
But yeah, exactly. It's they're not wearing a lot of clothing.
No, they're not. And usually, where is usually the washer and dryer located?
Well, the washer and dryer. I've seen a couple of movies where, for whatever reason, it can be the nicest, finest home, big home with lots of room, but for whatever reason, the washer and dryer is in a building out back. You have to walk outside in the dark. Again, as we were discussing earlier, maybe they've spilled wine or something on their dress or their clothing, and they have to remove their clothing. And so now they got the bra and the panties. Got to walk outside, go down the trail to the laundry room, and of course get attacked by the bad guy. It's just something that's kind of standard in scary movies.
And it's like also, you kind of get this also with women in particular that are running, from the monster or the zombie. The zombie and the monster is just kind of, clumsily moving around. With a girl, of course, seems to be kind of, she's running, but she always falls down. And they're always, no matter how fast she goes or how far she goes, they still manage, even though they're moving at a snail's pace, right behind her.
Yeah, I've never seen a zombie in a movie or a TV show move very fast. They generally move pretty slow. But you're right. They always manage to catch up or actually get in front of the damsel in distress.
Yeah. And I'd like to see in one movie. I'd like to see a zombie that maybe is like a sprinter or something.
Yeah. But in his pre-zombie life, maybe he was a member of the high school track team or something.
Could have been.
Yeah. Being a zombie slows you down, apparently.
Apparently, it does. Really slows your metabolism. I guess. I'm just guessing.
Yeah.
All bombs are fitted with electronic timing devices with large red readouts.
You would think that in reality that would not really be necessary. But I guess for the sake of the audience, you have to have that countdown clock.
Yeah.
Right?
And it doesn't matter if you're heavily outnumbered in a fight involving martial arts. Your enemies will wait patiently to attack you one by one by dancing around in a threatening manner until you've knocked everyone out.
Right. They don't all attack at the same time.
No.
You would think they would there's 5 of them, just all 5 moving at once, and they could take care of the situation. But they do. They attack one at a time, and as soon as the other one gets knocked out or knocked across the room or whatever, here comes another one, and then it's like they're just taking turns. You would think that they would have watched enough action movies to have figured this out, but apparently they haven't.
You'd think that would come up.
Yes, you would think.
Any lock can be picked by a credit card or a paperclip in a matter of seconds.
Yes.
Unless it's the door to a burning building with a child trapped inside.
Yes. Then they manage to, at the last possible minute now, it takes a little bit, But in the nick of time, they can get the door open. And you know that's not feasible. You've picked many a lock, and it's very difficult.
It is very difficult.
Yes.
And the average hotel pool is deep enough for you to survive a fall from any floor.
Apparently so. There was a James Bond movie where the bad guy threw a woman off the balcony, 17th, 18th floor, 20th, I don't know. And she landed in the pool, and she was fine. And Bond is like, good throw, she landed in the pool. And the guy says, I didn't know there was a pool down there. But she was fine.
Of course.
You would think you'd be up high enough. You're going to hit the bottom and you're going to die. Or even just the force of hitting the water would be enough to do some damage, if not kill you. But, they're always unscathed.
But that's just a few tried and true things you can pretty much count on as far as action films are concerned, which we all love a good action film.
Yes. And this is not really an action film, but it's something that that's common in any movie that is set in Paris. I think we talked about this on our radio show a long time ago. If you are in a hotel room in Paris, every window in a hotel in Paris faces the Eiffel Tower.
It does. Somehow you can see the Eiffel Tower from any window, any hotel room in Paris.
Yes, because it's always there, because the audience has to know you're in Paris. And
that's how you going to know in Paris. How are you going to know you're in Paris?
Exactly.
How are you going to know if you're in Paris if you can't see the Eiffel Tower?
That is true.
They will believe it.
I ran across an interesting story the other day, and I want you to remember this, Bill, when you think you're having a bad day. You think you're having a bad day. You think of this, and you're really not having a bad day. Pennsylvania woman, right? She's looking for a jacket. She donated to charity. Do you know why she is frantically looking for this jacket?
Why is that?
She left a lottery ticket in the pocket that she later found out was worth $2.5 million.
That would be just my luck.
Yeah. Mildred Cimerlino, 76, purchased a ticket for the Pennsylvania Cash 5 drawing. She bought it at the Shop and Save, Bill, the Shop and Save. And she matched all 5 numbers, $2.5 million. She called the lottery people, and not surprisingly, they said, hey, without the ticket, there's nothing we can do. No way for us to track it or see that you bought it. I mean, sorry. Wow. Tough luck.
That sucks.
It really does.
Sucks.
It does.
I was going to ask you, I don't know why I was thinking about this recently, but not this has anything to do with what you're talking about. But Ronald McDonald, whatever happened to Ronald McDonald? You ever hear from Ronald McDonald anymore?
I don't know that they still, the McDonald's folks, use him in their advertising much anymore. I don't see him around.
Is there some scandal we're not aware of involving Ronald? Know. Maybe the Hamburger? What's the deal?
I don't know if they, maybe Ronald was in on some sort of a heist that the Hamburglar was up to or something. I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Well, I do have a story about Ronald McDonald.
Okay.
You've been waiting for me to tell you about this story.
You had hinted around a couple of weeks ago that you had a story about Ronald McDonald, right, and I've been waiting patiently.
I'm not going to reveal any names here, but when I was working in radio decades ago in a small town in Alabama, not this one that I'm in now,
right?
McDonald's came and had a grand opening in this town.
Okay.
And it was a big deal. It was like Disney World came. I mean, it was just this huge deal. McDonald's is opening up. And so it's part of this grand opening, because it came also about the same time as this huge community function. If I were to tell you what it was, people probably could figure out what town I'm talking about.
Okay.
Actually, it's called Christmas on the River. And so I was emceeing this event with someone else. And we went to this function. She was my co-host for this event, and went to this function afterwards, a dinner afterwards. And after dinner, I said, "Well, I'm heading out. I'm leaving. Would you like to go?" And she said, "No, I'm going to stick around. We'll stay here." So she did, and I get a phone call the next morning saying, "Hey, have you seen so and so?" And I said, "Well, no. Last time I saw this person, she was at this place. She was at the dinner, and I left." So, well, I've got her husband here, and he's looking for her. And turns out that this person was with with Ronald McDonald.
She was with Ronald McDonald all night?
I think so. I think so.
Was Grimace there as well?
I don't know if Grimace. I don't know if Grimace was there as well or not.
That's interesting.
But that was it's a true story. It was bizarre. It was bizarre. And when I think of Ronald McDonald, I cannot help but think about that incident that took place many years ago. And
wow, yeah, that would be terrible because I guess it's good that they don't use him in the advertising a lot, or you would still be. I mean, so every time you see Ronald McDonald, you think about that. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, I can't help but think about it.
Well, I would be the same. I'd be the same way. That's wow, man. Yeah. So
true story.
Did you know Ronald before this event?
Not that I no. Ronald was not from that town.
So I guess apparently she was attracted to him while he was still wearing the makeup and the big red wig and stuff. I mean, I don't really want to overthink this because I mean, what else could it be?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I honestly don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there's a lot to that maybe I really don't want to know.
Did the man and woman divorce?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I'm kind of regretting I even brought it up.
I am too. I waited 2 weeks for this, and it is fascinating. But you left us with so many questions and not many answers.
Well, I don't. There's lots of questions that I have no answer to.
Right, I hear you. Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it might be best that you don't know any more about it because that's. It's kind of crazy. I just, of all the people you could, run off with and spend the night with, Ronald McDonald. I wonder if the Burger King was there. I mean,
Burger King. Are you saying Burger King would be understandable and Ronald would not be? What are you saying?
Well, at least you kind of know what he looks like without, doesn't have all that clown makeup on.
Maybe somebody might be more attracted to royalty.
Well, I would think than some clown. Yeah, I would think that. Yeah, royalty, a king or a clown. I mean, that would only make sense. Good thing it wasn't a Burger King event.
What if it had been KFC? And, of course, Colonel Sanders has long since been gone.
Colonel Sanders. Colonel Sanders' wife was from Jasper, Oakman, I think.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Now that I did not know. I did not know that.
She was from Oakman and still has family in that area. Sure enough. He was traveling through on a train. Colonel Sanders, and made a stop in Oakman, and met his future wife there.
Wow!
True story.
Huh? Small world.
It is
a small world indeed.
Bill, do you know any conspiracy theorists? Seems like there's conspiracy theorists in every family. Somebody's got one. You know any?
Yes, I'm afraid I do.
Yeah,
I'm afraid I do.
I don't have any in my family. My wife has 2 or 3 in her family, and nothing's real. Nothing's true. COVID was a hoax. SARS was a hoax. It's all a hoax. Don't believe anything they tell you. I'm just wondering if these people are just so easily convinced of things, and because it's on the internet or someone tells them that they automatically believe it's true. I'm proud that I have enough smarts up here to be able to distinguish fact from fiction. I can think it through. I can do a little research and call out the BS when I see it. But some people I don't think are capable of doing that.
Yeah, obviously so, because it's pretty common. I mean, there are a lot of conspiracy theorists around.
And it's sad because they keep spreading misinformation and stuff. And it's
just like we talked about before in our last podcast about how people will believe anything if you present it in a certain way. And
exactly.
We used to do April Fool's stuff, and it's just amazing what people will believe.
And the people that start the COVID as a hoax, SARS was a hoax kind of stuff, I mean, they know how to do that. They know how to manipulate people. They're good at it. It's what they do.
Or Jewish space lasers.
Yeah, there are people, I'm sure, who believe that as well.
Yeah, there are.
Kind of scary. And the Earth is flat. The Earth is flat. That's a good one. There are people who actually believe the Earth is flat. Even though if you go online, there are photographs. Well, them pictures is flat. But anyway, I don't know.
People have known for centuries that the Earth is not flat.
There are some who still believe.
Columbus knew that the Earth wasn't flat.
Right.
Anytime you're looking over the horizon, when a ship sails over the horizon, it curves.
Yeah,
It
it's not.
disappears.
It's
It
not
just doesn't fall off the planet.
not falling off the side and goes out into space or whatever. That's what all that space debris is. There's some ships that fall off the side.
Yeah.
Idiot.
Hey, did you see about this guy? At this grocery store in Spain?
I did not know.
He apparently was kind of short on cash.
Yeah.
And he decided while he was in a grocery store and he was short on cash to kind of sample some wine while he was in there.
Oh, really? Well, I'm assuming it wasn't an official wine tasting event. He just took it upon himself, right?
That's apparently what happened, yes. He apparently planned this in advance because he brought a bottle opener and a small stemless wine glass with him, so he was prepared.
Wow.
He got about 2/3 of the way through the bottle of red when a manager asked him what he was doing, and he said, the guy was honest, he said, "I love red wine, and I'm poor, but I'll repay you when I come into some money."
Red wine.
Yeah. Well, he was a little tipsy by this time, so the police didn't have any trouble corralling him.
I'm sure they did not. Yeah. Well, if he had a bottle opener, a wine opener, he was. Yeah, you're right. He was planning ahead. This was not a last-minute decision. He went there with a purpose, and it was to drink some wine.
He tried to take the bottle with him, but they wouldn't let him. So what was left of it, so he had to leave it.
Well, I mean, he makes a good point in that who else is going to want to drink it now? I might as well finish it, right?
I think so. I think that was cruel.
Story out of, where is this from? This is out of New York, I believe. A Cheeto. You're familiar with Cheetos, right?
Cheetos. Well,
Yes.
man, who doesn't like Cheetos?
Well, you've heard the orange hand joke. So, a Cheeto shaped like the beloved Pokemon Charizard, if I'm saying that correctly. Charizard.
You probably aren't.
Has sold at auction. Now, this is a Cheeto. It is shaped, it looks like the Pokemon character Charizard. Sold at auction, $87,840.
$87,000 for a what?
A Cheeto.
A Cheeto.
A single Cheeto that is shaped like the Pokemon character Charizard. $87,840 at auction.
That's somebody who just has some money to waste.
Apparently
I mean,
so.
my God.
I mean, even if I was
$87,000 for a Cheeto?
one Cheeto, yes.
Well, that's like, these people that they've seen the Virgin Mary in a honey bun and stuff.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of like that,
It does.
Hey, well, remember years ago at Walker Baptist, when it was Walker Baptist out here.
Oh,
like the
I
image,
had forgotten about that. Yeah.
the image of what supposedly was Jesus in the door.
And they even put a plexiglass cover over the door, and people would go and look at it, and just in the wood grain there, it supposedly just appeared as an image of Jesus. I had completely forgotten about that.
Yeah, I had until you said that, and I thought about it all of a sudden.
Yeah, wow.
But
that was several years ago, and that was a very big deal.
Yeah, it was. I don't know whatever became of that. I guess, I don't know, they changed the door. I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, you're not going to destroy the door. I would imagine it's still there. I don't know, though. You need to do a little research and find out what happened.
I may have to.
You may have to. That's right.
Barry, are you familiar with haikus?
I am to an extent. It seems to be your thing that you enjoy. But yes.
I've become kind of well known here at the college.
For many reasons.
Well, true. But one of the things, I've written a few haikus. And haikus are like these Japanese poems. They're like 5 syllables in one line, 5 syllables, 7 syllables, and 5 syllables. Very limited. Mine are kind of like redneck haikus.
So this is how you spend your extra time.
I think it's time well spent.
I think it is as well.
Would you like to hear a couple of them?
Bill, man.
I wish we had.
You don't even have to ask.
I wish we had some music maybe to go along with this.
So like some Japanese type music?
Wouldn't have to be that, but maybe some soft, music.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if we can round up some music and put underneath as you read these. Are you going to read these in a? It's because this seems like something that should be very relaxing when you hear them. So I hope you're going to use like a soothing tone, a soothing voice as you share these.
I will do my best.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
This one is entitled "Alien in Dixie."
Alien in Dixie.
Alien in Dixie.
Okay.
The fruit is ripened, swollen on the branch above. Pick it yourself.
The Japanese would not be happy.
I think it's a very timely haiku.
Yeah, probably so.
This one is entitled The Fridge.
The fridge.
Something you're familiar with.
Oh, you're right about that, yes.
Leftovers are gone. I wanted that fried chicken. Roommate will suffer.
Roommate will suffer. That's good. Yeah, well, I think maybe you finally found something you're good at, Bill. Continue.
All right, this one's entitled Fatherly Advice. My dad once told me, son, you need to get a job. What was he thinking?
That's good. That's good. That's like real life, too. I mean, you know.
Yeah. Well, maybe one or two more. Let's see. Oh, I got one. Here's one more. Here's one more.
All right.
You'll love this one. You'll love this one. This one's, and this one is. I did write this one. This one really speaks to. I think this will speak to you.
Okay.
You've experienced this.
Oh, me.
It's entitled Telemarketer.
All right.
The sound of your voice. Broken English. Monotone. I want to kill you.
That one is true. That's good. Yeah.
Yes,
good.
yes. You know, the thing about it is that, I called a local pizza place not long ago.
Right.
And I think I wound up talking to somebody in New Delhi.
Yes. I've done that. It was someone from overseas. It was a call center. It would not be the same place because you don't have this particular pizza chain where you live. But apparently it must be a common thing because I have, when I call to order from a particular place, it's overseas, yes.
I'll tell you something else that drives me crazy, speaking of being on the phone. And I guarantee you've experienced this too. And everybody out there listening has experienced this as well. How many times have you called a place that's got an automated operator service? Of course, everybody does now. And it's like every time they say, listen closely, because our menu has changed.
Yeah, the menu options have changed. Every one of them do that, and they never change. It's always exactly
I don't care. I don't care that your menu's changed.
Why do
I've
they
never
do
called
that?
you before.
Why do they do that when the options have not changed? Why is it necessary to do that?
I don't know. And maybe I've never called them before. I don't know if their menus change, and I don't care. I don't care that their menus change. And yet they got to tell me that their menu has changed.
They want you to listen closely. I don't know why. Are you banging on the desk? Are you that angry? What was that?
I'm that angry.
Wow. He's like, I'm not going to take it anymore. So, but yes, every time you call somewhere, that is always, it must be a mandatory thing. I don't know what it is, but it's the menu options have changed. They never change, but they always say it.
They always say it.
Always.
They always say it.
Without fail.
Yep. Menu has changed. I know it's a small thing, but it's the small things in life like that accumulate.
It's the small things. It's the small things like that really tick you off, Bill Watt.
Yes, I mean you call place after place after place, and menu after menu after menu has changed.
You know what's funny though? One day you're going to call somewhere and they're not going to make that announcement, and guess what? The menu options will have changed, and you'll hit the wrong button.
Yep.
That's the way it works.
I know.
All right, Billy, time flies. Hard to believe that our time is up, but it's been fun as always.
It has indeed, and I hope that we can do it again here real soon.
We will. A couple of weeks we'll have a new episode out, our third episode, and of course get in touch with us. Let us know what you think about the podcast. Bill and Barry's podcast at gmail.com is a good way to get in touch with us. I left out the low budget on the email address. Bill and Barry's.
I think that's immediately obvious that we have no budget. So
you don't have to say it.
It's kind of redundant. I don't think people need to point that out.
Bill and Barry's podcast at gmail.com. We would love, Bill, would we not love to hear from the people?
We would indeed love it.
All right, man. It's been fun. And like you say, we'll do it again here very soon. I'm Barry Patella.
I'm Bill Watt.
Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. Talk to you soon. This has been Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast. This has also been a total and complete waste of your time. Good Lord willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be back soon with another Bill and Barry's Low Budget Podcast.